one and hello all and welcome to a special crafting adventure. For today we have this large box which has already been opened and everything has been taken out because I couldn't wait. I was too excited. Yes, for I was contacted by a very nice person from Handscraft DIY craft supplies in the US, and they asked if I would be interested in trying out some of their products in one of my videos. And lo and behold, a while later, this box arrives at my doorstep in Japan, and now I can finally try out some of the cool stuff they sent me. But before we try making anything, let me show you what exactly was in this box. These are the 7 3D wooden puzzle kits that I have received. Okay, we'll push them to the side. The first one is the owl storage box. We have an aeroplane, a grand piano, a merry-go-round, a Ferris wheel, a vintage camera, and a 3D wooden turtle. Now, of these, I mean, I really like the look of all of them, but the one I want to try is actually the first one I showed you here, the owl storage box. I'm really interested to find out how well these pieces have been cut, because they look far better than some of the other ones I've done in the past from different companies. Now this one is 3-star, the same as all the others bar the turtle, which is only 2-star. It contains 61 pieces, which is very nice to have written on the front there. Usually they don't tell you how many pieces they have. And one thing that really makes this different from the other ones I've done is the fact that the pieces have the special engravings on them to give the piece a kind of a better finish than if it was all just flat and not interesting. But I really want to find out what this is like to build, so we need to open this up and take a look at what we have inside. The packaging has been opened and the plastic removed, and what we are left with is this by here. So okay, let's put the box over there for now. We have a small piece of sandpaper. In an emergency you can file down some pieces or make something smooth, I guess. Paper instructions, which are actually very detailed, and I'm very happy to see. Some of these wooden kits made by other companies, they tend to avoid separate instructions and just have 2 or 3 illustrations on the box, which can sometimes be hard to follow, so I'm very happy to see this, and a thumbs up from me. Put that over there. Additionally, we have 4 sheets of parts. Each part has been individually lettered, numbered. Well, they all have a letter and a number, and a little line indicating which piece it is referring to, which again gets a thumbs up, because without these little lines it can be a bit ambiguous when some of the pieces are very close together, so that makes my life much easier. Also, one thing I've noticed is these parts actually come out very easily. Very little force is needed to pull them out of their sprues. Is that what you call these? Well, to pull them out of their sheets. And additionally, you can run your finger on it and there's no sharp bits. This is very important, as some of the other wooden kits I've done in the past by different people, you can run your finger on it and you'll get 2 or 3 splinters, so thumbs up from me. And even if in the worst situation you'd have a little bump, you've also got the sandpaper, which you can get rid of it with, but in this case I have none. Okay, I suppose the second most important thing is to find out how well the pieces actually go together. So, in the instructions for part 1, we need, well, that piece I just had, we need this funny looking piece here, and some small rods. Let's see if I can find them. Okay, so there are a total of 6 pieces needed for stage 1. As you can see, the piece I showed you earlier has just been lined up with this sort of W-shaped piece here. Very happily, all the holes match up, and all we need to do is put these small wooden pegs in the holes. They are a little bit stiff, but that's good because it means that the parts will stay in place, and well, they're also very strong, so they're not going to break if you put too much pressure on them. Alright, we need 2 long ones in the top and 2 shorter ones in the bottom. And hopefully it should look something like this. Having a nice flat table or something to push these pieces down onto does mean you can get a nice flat surface on the back, so I recommend doing that. From here, we're going to need to add these pieces, which I have pre-prepared there. And on top of that, we have these circular pieces as well, which I've also popped out. I was a bit concerned about these because the wood is extremely thin by here, but well, they popped out quite nicely and there was no danger for them breaking, which, yeah, again, this is good because I do tend to break these because I try to do things a bit too quickly. But this is foolproof. Alright, so we're just going to put this here and pop that on the peg and push it down if we can find it in the right hole. Is that correct? Yes. No. There you go. Lovely. And on top of that we want this eye here, and that should go in the center like that. Perfect. Then do the same on this side. From here we're going to place this funky looking piece over the top, and this should line up with these 4 pegs quite nicely. We got to push down here to make sure it's sturdy. Get this down far enough and then pop the smaller pegs through the back of these. I suppose they're going to be the eyes, like so, and you know, it covers up the small pegs completely, which is very nice. Did it off camera because I didn't want to put too much pressure on certain places without looking at what I'm really doing. Okay, so from here we're going to take these crazy looking eyebrows, which do have a very nice line pattern on them, which has a lovely texture to it. And these are going to go on the top pegs if they are lined up correctly, like this, and like this. Bingo. What's next? Next we need to make the beak. We're going to take this piece here, take this piece and slide that on the top there. Nice snug fit, get that nice and level. Then we're going to take this small piece here, hook it over there and slide it on there. Hopefully that'll go all the way on. Okay, very nice. Next we're going to take the slightly larger one of them, and that goes on behind it. Slide it over there and then through the hole. Perfect. And finally we're going to take this piece here, which goes over this. Why is my camera not in focus? Just want to be careful you don't break it. And again, nice snug fit. I will say I am impressed at how snug the fit is with these little pegs. It means you don't need any glue, and that means less mess when building them. Okay, then we're going to take our owl face and we're simply going to slot that long peg in there, and what's left of this one is going to go in there. I'm going to do this off camera because it looks like it's going to be slightly more difficult than the last bit. From here we need to put these 2 small circular pieces on this peg and 2 on this peg here, so that'll be 2 on here and 2 on here, like this. And finally these glasses just to go over the top of the pegs like that, and that hopefully, lovely, should finish them off. Perfect. Okay, what's next? So we gotta attach these small wooden pegs here onto the bottom pegs of their head here and here, like so. And then following this step-by-step guide here, we're going to attach this back plate to those things, kind of using a sort of up and under technique, and it should hook onto here and here. Perfect. Yes, this back plate fit extremely well. I was a little bit worried about hooking it under these pieces here. You know, this wood is quite thin, and I am always worried it's going to break, but it has proven itself very strong so far. Next, we need to make the feet, which involves 2 small pieces going in the back, and then the foot sliding on the front, like this. I did actually record doing this, but the camera didn't work, so I'm showing you what they look like when they're done. Yeah, they got 2 little pegs in the back, and then the foot just slides on the bit that protrudes out the front. And the last thing we need to do to finish the head is to pop this on the top here, and then slide this peg, that peg, through the double hole in the middle, and it should give you something like this. This is the completed front plate of this kit. I did realize I had this on upside down, so I have switched it, and this is the correct way for it to look. Okay, so far so good. We've had no accidents. All the pieces have gone together nicely, and even though I did prepare it, I have had no need for glue to hold the pieces in place, which gets a thumbs up from me. Okay, next we need to actually make the storage box part on the back. So, what do? Well, according to the instructions, we're going to take this back panel here, and we're going to put these curved pieces along the edges. Now I was a bit confused by these curved pieces because this is made of wood, and wood doesn't really bend without breaking, but on looking at the pieces themselves, they do have these very small holes cut in them, so they bend quite nicely. I'm a little bit tentative about bending it too much, but it does actually work quite nicely, and I'm very impressed at how well these work. But how well they fit in this piece is another question, for they go in here, and then it curves all the way around to the bottom there and there. I was a little bit worried about putting too much pressure on this bent wood because I don't know, it feels weaker than the flat pieces, but it turns out it's a lot stronger than it looks, and it fits perfectly into the holes, so there was no need for me to worry. Next, we're going to take these 2 bars like this, slide them down, and then lock them in place with this bottom bit going in the bottom, I guess. Okay, that worked out quite nicely. These 2 bars went down, and then just slid this one on the left to hold them in place. And then the next step was to put the one on the right, so they're nice and rigid to give a basic frame. Next, to add a little bit more to the frame, we're going to put 1, 2, 3 bars in the 1, 2, 3 holes. And once we've got those 3 pieces in place, all of these little nubs will line up with the holes on the back of the face, and all you've got to do is put them together. Although this does look like it's going to be more difficult than I made it out. Well, that went together a lot easier than I had thought. The holes all lined up perfectly, and so long as you just do one at a time, they all slid together and created this lovely rigid shape. And more importantly, I didn't break any of it. Thumbs up. Okay, but the container is still empty, so we need to make box number 1 and box number 2. Yes, we have these lovely 2 boxes here, and they have a choice of holes that you can use for each one. All we need to do now is take our owl base. I'm going to go for the 9 holes on this side, and the 2, I'm going to put them this way, on this side. Then we just need to fill them up. I changed the angle of the camera just so you can get a better look at the final product. Yes, I'm quite happy here. I can fit my lovely 6 colourful pens in this side, and on this side the Pritt stick fits in this slot, and I'm actually quite happy that my stapler actually snugly fits in the slot next to it. A wonderful design. I love this. This is so cool. And yeah, well, I have to say, in terms of the kits I've done on this channel, this is definitely one of the highest quality ones. The pieces actually popped out nicely. There was very few bits of wood dust that came off, which is very nice because it means I don't have to hoover up and do a lot of cleaning. Also, as I mentioned earlier, didn't need to use any glue for any part of the model. And well, it's practical. That's the most important thing. Well, not really the most important thing, but it is practical. Additionally, I do love the the laser etched patterns into the wood, because it does give it a very nice feel. Well, you know, this kit I suppose would be good for anybody who wanted to do it. The wood itself has no splinters, so you know, this is even safe for children to do. Some of the parts, pushing them together, you do have to be a little bit delicate of, but that's the same for any of these things. Wood is not indestructible. Well, there you are. That is the first look at one of the handscraft kits that was sent to me. Again, I want to extend my thanks to the company for sending these products. I'm very happy to have received them, and I thoroughly enjoyed making this one. I will be making more, so please do look forward to that. If you have, if you do like this kit and you'd like to see some for yourself, I will put the company's website and Facebook address in the description of this video, so you can find out more there. But thank you all for watching, and please do wait for the next video where we will be trying... Haven't decided yet, but we will be trying another one of these kits. So, again, thank you all for watching, and until next time.